All right, microphone in. We're back with another episode of Red Bull. What's cracking? Hang on. Fuck me. There it is. All right. 1, 2.
Hello. I am
think
just.
we're live.
Oh wait.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just feeding about 5 kittens that have come out of the bush.
Oh,
It's very
more
cute.
kittens.
They're the ones that they had before, and then I thought they'd been had by foxes, and then one day she just brought them out, you know, to say, feed the kittens, feed them. So,
What if you've got like full-on wild foxes and shit there?
yeah, there's 2.
Oh, fuck.
Well, there was. I don't know if they're still there, but yeah, they used to be. If you can hear
Like
that
you
slurp.
see, we see like some of them like occasionally. Like there is foxes, I suppose, but
I wonder if your foxes are different to our foxes. I wonder. They might be.
you don't really see them that much. Like you see them sometimes at night, like running off the road,
Oh yeah.
like just sneaking off into the bush, and you think like it must have been. It's bigger than a cat, so that's the next.
Yeah.
That's all that can be.
Well, they can be bigger than a dog, but they're normally between a dog and a cat, like a small dog size. But they can be bigger than a dog.
It's the tails.
Yeah.
Like
Well, there was
you
a
see,
mum with
you
pugs
kind of
in
just
her.
see like something just scurry off, and it was a big bushy tail and bigger than a cat.
One time I was stood outside a pub having a fag, and there's this like noise coming around the corner. In fact, I wasn't having a fag, I was having a spliff, I remember now. And then there was this like clickety clackety coming around the corner. I was like, oh, some old bastard's coming around the corner with his dog now, fuck. And it wasn't, it was a fox, and it just came around, and it just looked at me, it just stood there. It was just so shocked to see me, and I was just stood staring at it. And then all of a sudden it like sprung into action and ran off.
I had a fucking possum scare the shit out of me the other night.
Oh, I've never seen a possum in my life.
We see them quite often, like, but they sort of generally keep a bit of distance too, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's like you sort of startle each other, and they're just like, "Oh fuck this, I'm out of here," and they just they're usually like along your fence or something, or like you'll go outside at night, and they're on like your power line, walking into the house onto your roof. And yeah, you'll kind of turn the light on, and it's like you just startle the shit out of it, and it's like it's just about like a meter from your house, and you kind of look and you're like, oh fuck, and then they just like run up the roof, and you don't see them.
Do they sit on the roofs because is it like, you know, for heat? Do you think? Oh no, because obviously it's hot where you are.
I think it's just like corridors.
Oh yeah,
like just ways to get around the place. Like
like
they're
Aladdin.
Like they sort of really like. Not that they're domesticated, but they use the houses a lot.
That
like
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, a lot of sense. Why wouldn't you? Because you're free of a lot of predators doing that, and it's a straight line, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like there's always nice trees, and just like they just go and like pick off fruits out of the backyards, and
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Bits of scraps and stuff for people's compost heaps and that. Yeah.
I went out for a smoke, and one like came down the pole on the roof and like down onto the balcony, and was just staring at me. I'm just like, oh fuck, like
maybe one of your neighbours had been feeding that one.
Maybe, yeah. Sometimes when they're young, they'll come and have a look, like, because they do get fed.
I'd feed them if they came around mine, definitely. I'd be like getting a little crew of them together in my garden.
Yeah, I just got caught. It catches you off guard, like you're not expecting it. And it's just like, oh fuck, like hang on, like how's this gonna go down? Like, am I getting bleeding here? Like, what sort of? We used to have ones that come out in the daytime.
Oh, it went. Something went. I missed that bit. I missed what you were saying.
We used to have some that used to hang around our house during the daytime, and they'd get hassled by birds. And it's like you just hear the birds going off, and it's like, what the fuck's going on out there? Yeah, I don't think they're nocturnal. It's like I think they just hide, but they're still doing stuff. Like they're not. It's not a nocturnal, like a proper nocturnal animal.
Yeah, I suppose you're nocturnal and stuff like seasonal animals and stuff is like completely. I can't get my head around it probably if I even tried, because like for us it's like they're supposed to go into hibernation and all sorts of shit, you know, because it gets cold and that. But you're not going to have that.
Yeah. They're just a weird little animal. I think. Like, yeah, I don't know.
They're cool, man.
But yeah, we always thought they were nocturnal till we had these ones. It was like, fucking, what's this thing doing out at daytime? Like, they look like a stunned mullet too. It's just like sitting on this fence, just like in fucking shock horror, just like getting picked by magpies. It's like, oh fuck, he's getting hammered. Like,
well, the magpies are like, what are you doing on my patch? I'm getting these bits of grub or whatever. This is mine. I get the bread from here. Or whatever.
Well, I think, and also it's like, well, you don't get to eat one of these very often. Like, let's have a fucking crack at this. Like, what's this thing? Like, yeah, it's either that, like, or the only other time I've heard the birds go nuts is when it's been a snake, like a snake in the tree.
Oh, really?
And it's just like, yeah, everything's just alerting, like, just going off.
Yeah, letting out all the other birds know.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy shit. It was like, it was full on. You just like, what the? Louder than this one. Like, they were just like a bunch of different birds were going off. And it was just like, oh, this is fucking hectic. Like, you don't normally hear them all fighting. Like,
something's going off, you know, something's going off, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can hear crows and these other birds fighting, and it's like, that's not, I've never heard that combination of fucking noises. Like,
seagulls and hawks together. I've seen seagulls fighting hawks off a few times. That's hilarious.
Well, no, they weren't fighting. They were all trying to get this fucking big-ass fucking carpet snake.
Fucking hell. All together? It's like a gang, like all
yeah, it was like heaps of, it was like about 3 or 4 different types of birds just would dive bombing the shit out of it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and then the crows just ended up coming in and just taking over.
Oh man, if you see one of those again, you've got a video here. That'd be a
right. Yeah, they just hounded it up the road. Like, you could hear them for probably about the next half an hour, like, and it just got further away.
That poor fucking snake.
That's what he's probably thinking, like, holy fuck, like, the fuck are these things? Like, and because you could sort of tell, like, as it was getting further away, like, they were just probably following it, like.
Yeah, well, there's more of them, isn't there? Like, I mean, I can imagine one of those snakes goes pretty fast when it wants to, though.
Yeah, but, well, yeah, they kind of hide pretty quick if they've got spots to kind of get, like, they'll seem to fuck off pretty quick. Like,
well, they've hidden,
if they're out in the open, like, not really. Like, they're pretty slow.
Birds are apparently got a good sense of smell, I've heard from somewhere. Where did I see that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they say when they were doing all these experiments on pigeons, you know, to see how they homed, how they found their way back and stuff to places, and what sort of systems they use, especially if you moved the place. If they went back, some of them would go back to the new place, and they wouldn't know how they'd know and stuff like that. And it's to do with roads. It turned out everyone thought it could have been something like sixth sense or something, or even the smell. They did tests on the smell, and they have got a good sense of smell apparently. But it's roads, like you were saying about the possums on the roofs. They use the road system. Makes sense, doesn't it?
It's like that. Yeah, it's like they use the geography. Like,
yeah, they just use the roads to mark by, and then they follow it back. It's either.
Yeah, there you go.
Makes sense, doesn't it? It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it fucking does.
Yeah.
Like how, like, instead of it trying to figure out whether it uses the fucking temperature of the fucking sun bouncing off the fucking water.
Or is it ley lines, or is it fucking...
is it wind pressure, or fucking...
What's that thing they used to call it? The Russians did loads of research into it. Oh, I forgot what it is. Where objects are instilled with what is it? Is it a consciousness even, possibly? Like a consciousness by people. They did loads of studies on it, and then they were saying it was that, like some sort of Sixth Sense Stargate bullshit. Like,
don't know. Go see fucking Ben Spastic popped onto Dean's chat.
no.
One of the fellow Aussies is fucking getting the balls up a bit. He's jumping on streams. So
Is that the guy who's been going on yours? Was that Ben Spastic then?
Yeah, he's been on mine a few times.
Right,
and there's been another couple of weird cunts bouncing in, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's cool.
It was like he was doing a fucking an elbow, like lurking around the shops.
Oh man, that's awesome! I love the walkabout streams. I loved Lewis's. Lewis had a great walkabout that time when it was just
the
like.
one on my first one was pretty good. Like that was a good. That had to have been an hour or so.
Man, I'm gutted. I've missed him every fucking time. Every time I've missed him.
He went and had a look at some graph and was like walking around town and looking in the toilets and stuff.
I know. Well, I saw a bit of that, and I wanted when you told me about it, I looked a bit back. But yesterday I saw loads of graffiti on my way out to go shopping, and I really thought about coming and doing a little video for you.
Yeah, you should have.
I will at some point. I know where they are now. I'll go and get. There's like just a whole bit along this track where it's quite easy to get to, and it's just full of it all the way. Last time I went up there, it wasn't. So
yeah, it's probably been hammered.
Yeah, it has. It was like they'd paid for some sort of shitty artwork done, like community art, but it was shit. And they paid for that, and so that sort of stood on there for ages. And then I went past, obviously, yesterday, and I was just like, "Fucking hell!" They've gone over the whole thing, and it's right funny. They've left little bits.
That's like what I was telling you, where they get community, get them to like, here, just do a mural on this wall. He's
yeah.
What do you reckon? $1,000 cash and like some paint. Yep, that's cool. And they use like fuck all paint, and then just go smash town. While they're there for the weekend, and then fuck off back to the other side of the.
That other thing was on for years, and it was just black and white. And then when you go on it now, it's just like Technicolor, glorious Technicolor, like all over. They've just like completely covered this black and white thing.
Yeah, cool. You can get some pretty good cans these days.
For fucking miles as well. We went on for miles. So I was like, bloody hell, it's still going. Still the same guy. I don't want to dox myself though because the names. Do you know what I mean? You'll know by the names where I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's some pretty expensive paint, like over in fucking Europe. There, I swear they're like about $20, €25 a can. But they're fucking pretty dear shit. Like, but they're good.
That must have been actually. That actually puts a few pieces into perspective because there's an area. It was anyway. It was a really cool bit. It was this old basketball court, and it was like they ran it as a bit of a community project. So they had kids, drawing on it, and then after a month or something, they'd change it and they'd draw over it again. They'd have projects and like workshops and stuff. But I bet that was a racket for the guys who were running it for the kids to just have a constant supply of pain. Yeah. For years as well. For years they were doing that.
For a while there, it's like sometimes when like different little projects come into community centers and stuff, like it's the same as with music. Like they'll like get some like local musicians and like get a whole bunch of like fucking mad equipment, and like they pretty much just end up taking it all.
Yeah, every time.
It runs for about 6 months. No one turns up again. It's like, well, we'll give you like what, $2,000 for all this shit.
That's across the board. That is across the board.
$10,000 worth of studio equipment or something.
All community projects pretty much are like that now. because it's called fund sucking, and it just happens. I've worked in a lot of community projects, and it is just the way it is. They will just take all your
like
fucking work.
So they try to get them like breakdance and so like.
Well, then they'll find any project.
And...
It could be anything, and so they'll find some group. It could be like her parents or something. You know, there's been no funding for ages, so they've fucking worked their asses off to build something, on their own bat for fucking years, and they finally got something going, made an improvement, and then all these fucking fund suckers then the bit of money will get in because they'll have made the area better, and the council or whatever will realise that maybe we should put a bit of money into this. Next thing you know, there's like 4 fucking community projects straight up, and one's from the next door bit of the city and all that shit. Do you know what I mean? They've all had it every time. Yeah. I've been in this game for like 20 fucking years, and it has always been the same.
Yeah, well, the paint one was a similar one. Like they just overquote them.
Oh, every time.
It's like they know it's going to take like 1 can of black, 1 can of this, like fucking maybe a few blues. But they'll just be like, we need a box of this, a box of that, just a box of every color.
Yeah.
And like that should only cost you like $500. Oh, okay, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, because they're used to. Yeah, and also you've got all the maybe not in those projects, but in a lot of them, like you've got politicians who were involved. Do you know what I mean? They want a fucking little laundry or something, and all the rest of it. It's fucked up on the community level.
The greasy wheels, man. They're out there.
Oh man, all the time.
Big time.
But then, like, for instance, there was a community project that I fucking helped defend because this guy was coming in to do something along similar lines. He's known for, like, disassembling community projects, then selling them on at a fucking right loss, you know, to other places, to private places, and then them chopping it up and selling it back as, like, a service, yeah? And so we all fucking stood up and fucking got this guy out. It was banging. And then that community project just turned fully corporate anyway.
Oh, that's...
And fucked everyone over, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was always going to happen.
Because they're like, oh, right, we're like the kings of the fucking castle now because all these fucking idiots have helped us out and protected us. Now we do all the quotes.
It was the same kind of going back, like, this is pretty random, but going back maybe in the early 90s, like when they started doing like heroin clinics, like where like and those sort of things like methadone clinics and shit like that, but they were like private, so you could just kind of fucking start one up and just get like all this massive fucking funding, and like they'll put them in the shittest areas, and like no one like knew what the fuck was going on, and it's like, who knows? Like they just were spending like fucking millions on these things, like, and really like there was just nothing happening there. It's just a fucking dead office.
Oh, it's like the children home scandal over here, which is just like people can just set up their own care home pretty much, and just set up their own house, rent out the rooms, but have it as like a care home. And they'll just put people in it, and they'll charge them like ridiculous rent, like $2.5 grand a fucking week, month, whatever. You know what I mean? Because they'll be like, oh yeah, we're gonna give them everything. You know, we'll have the high dependency people without a voice. You know what I mean? And the fucking council and that are sending them in because they ain't got anywhere else. They don't even check them. It's a right fucking scandal.
Yeah,
it's all
same. Look, it happened
right
here too with that health, with sort of like aged care, but like not aged care facility, but little like short stay respite houses and things
exactly
like that.
Those ones as well. Yeah, that's it. It's all that shit. It
was like someone might be fucked up, but they're only really going to be there for a couple of weeks, you know. But what they done was they changed our like zoning restrictions where you could turn a house into one of those sort of facilities.
That's what happened here.
Like if you had a real big house, like a fucking 5-bedroom house,
don't even need to be that big.
As long as it was all up to code, it didn't matter here.
Yeah,
but as long as it was up to code and you had like a ramp to get in,
Yeah.
And like
exactly,
rails
basic.
in the showers and fucking all that sort of shit and all the sensors and alarms.
You say you've got staff on, but actually you've just got your fucking brother, your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law, and a load of other fucking family members.
Out, you could rent it to the state as a facility.
That's exactly what's happening
like
here.
You got it like a guaranteed fucking like. You just got a contract where it was like there's a stupid amount where
I worked for one of them.
It was almost like double what you would ever get in rent, and for the most part, you didn't even really have a lot of people coming through your house. Like,
well, no, because once they're in, they stay.
Well, no, they'd only be there for a couple of weeks, and like you're more like an overflow for like the hospitals and the bigger places.
Yeah, it starts off like that, but you see over here, overflow is all we've got now. You know, because as soon as someone else,
what they were looking at,
as soon as someone else takes it, they shut down the public shit, and then when someone needs that, they're like, "Oh yeah, well you're gonna have to go to these." Not the things that we don't fund at all. You know,
where it got kind of like lucrative was you could get funding and subsidy if you were planning to do that to a house.
Yeah.
So if you kind of went and gone like, oh look, I'm going to do that, it's like they'll give you they'll pay for the ramp and put you may have to get like the fucking shower done, but there was like so many subsidies and like it got fucking ridiculous. Like,
yeah, because over here in the early 90s, I don't know if it was the same for you, but they were shutting down all the institutions because obviously the institutions were really fucking bad in lots of ways, but a lot of people benefited from it as well.
And it's like they're going to have to spend hundreds of millions to do hospitals, and it's like
in some ways though they were better off in the institutions than this system. In some ways,
people probably were, but I'm saying like the buildings get old, and it's like they're going to have to spend 100 million to do a new hospital, or 50 million for this other fucking idea, and it's just like
exactly. And then you never have to spend it again. You never have to do it again because you've just offloaded it onto these fucking jokers. But the people they've got,
for some reason, it's like you have a look at the price of like buildings and hospitals just seem to be through the roof. Like whether it's all the sterile, like properly fucking regulated.
I never looked at that, but yeah, I would imagine so.
It's like you can get like a shopping center done for like fuck all, but then to get a hospital done, it'll cost you like fucking 10 times the amount for the same size sort of shit. Because it's all like just different fucking regulations and specifications and fucking
and also it's like fire regulations, getting people because you've got people like in a like a shopping place. I suppose the biggest amount of time that people are spending in there are the workers, and so they'd be your highest priority with like your safety and like evacuation.
I was just throwing that in as a rough example, but like they're the most expensive buildings to get built.
But evacuation systems in hospitals are a big fucking thing, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna have to custom build the hospital based on that.
Everything's expensive, like hospital beds, like they're dearer than hotel beds. It's like,
oh yeah, well
you could probably get like a couple of hotels built for the price of a hospital. So yeah, shit
or
like
more,
that comes
probably,
into it.
yeah.
Like,
if you're kitting it out,
fucking billions. It's like they go to knock a hospital up, and it's like that's just gonna be billions. Like fucking tens
in
of
our
billions.
Hospital, like, if you ended up on the top floor, you were fucked. Basically, if you ended up on the top floor, you knew you were fucked because they don't bother evacuating you if anything goes wrong up there. So that was like you're pretty much dead if you're on the top floor. You might come out the top floor, but it's unlikely.
Yeah. So you're ready for Christmas?
No.
Is it snowing? Is he gonna have a white Christmas?
It was hailing last night. No, it's not. I don't think.
Oh, great fun.
Yeah, it was only a little hail though. But no, I'm not. I
fucking hate that. My car always cops hail.
Does it? Like, I bet you have mad hail as well, don't you? A bit of a fucking golf ball hail.
Sometimes, but like not often. Like it hadn't hailed for years, like fucking years, and then. And I always had like a good spot to park the car anyway, like really. But when I've moved to this other spot, it's like it's a bit more exposed. And it's fucking hailed 3 times. Like it was hailed twice in the first like week. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
does it literally fuck your car up as well? Does it get dents and shit in it?
It was probably borderline with the size that would start to. Like, if it's long enough, like, not all of them will, but like one or two of them will. And you'll have like a couple of little, like, sometimes if it's real bad, like, it will turn you kind of like a golf ball looking thing.
That's fucking crazy. But I bet that looks cool though, in a way.
Yeah, generally, like, there's one or two little bits will have like a little harder spot in it, and they do get little dings. Like, you always notice
puts your car up for. Once you've got a dink like that in it, it's gonna like rust in it at some point.
Last time I ran out with fucking, because I still had like all the covers from when I just bought lounges and shit. So they had like these big plastic wraps and then like this other foamy shit.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, that's
I'm just like, I'm running out trying to put all this. It's fucking raining and fucking winding.
I can just imagine.
And then like the hail's come. I'm like, fuck this. Big dooner over the top. I had like curtains that I hadn't put up, like, and I like just so they were older, like outdoor curtains.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh fuck it, like ran out, put them on the fucking car, and then they left like a little mark on it because they were a bit dirty. And it's like, oh, this is just going downhill. Like, fuck this.
Sounds like Fawlty Towers.
It just got ridiculous. And then by the time you do all this, it only goes for 5 minutes.
Stops. Yeah, it won't go for long. Sometimes it goes for a bit longer here, but we only get, I think the max that I've ever seen is probably about 1 centimetre.
Oh, really? Oh, we've had like golf balls.
Yeah, like, I don't think I've ever seen golf ball hail ever over here. It's about 1 centimetre. That's big hail for here.
Like, if they hurt you when they hit.
Yeah.
Like, or even that 1 centimetre one, like, you wouldn't want to run too far in that.
They could hurt. Yeah, that's it. That's unusual to get them that big over here. The ones we were getting last night were tiny.
They feel all right, and then it's like there's this one every now and then that's just a bit solider than the other. Like, oh fuck, oh that one got like, fuck yeah.
Most here, you'd be all right with an umbrella, I think.
With hail.
Protect you. Yeah, with her hail, it'll probably protect you.
Okay. Yeah, this is pretty solid.
Yeah. Well, you've got like so much more weather, so much more land, and so much more pressure changes and stuff where you are, innit? Moving across. I suppose the Gulf Stream probably sorts. No, but I always know that if it's just you've got crazy weather, you're going to get crazy hail. Basically, if you've got hot weather, you're going to get crazy hail. If you're in a temperate zone like us, like everything's going to be temperate, and everything's going to be mediocre. So you've got mediocre hail, mediocre sun, mediocre everything.
Yeah, you do. You seem to get it on like real hot days.
Yes,
but then it's not even all hot days. It's like,
if we get the crazy hail,
I haven't seen any for years.
Well, crazy hail for us, like I say, 1 centimetre. That's on a hot day, definitely.
Yeah, like I'd seriously say like 5 years since I've had hail, and then like copped it a couple of times in a row. It's just the different weathers, I think.
It just saves it up and then puts all the big ones out at once. With us, we're just getting more reg. Maybe we'll get it once every couple of years. I've seen. Probably it's on every year, but I don't even catch it or something.
Our weather has been a little bit different this year, though. To be
El Nino this year, though, isn't it?
It is different. It's different for us. I know that. It's definitely like.
I didn't expect a white this year because of the weather, because of the way it was, and the.
Well, see, we're coming right into summer. Like, it should be fucking 38 degrees.
Over here, because everyone like pays so much attention to the weather, you can kind of predict it 2 years in advance what winter's going to be like from the leaves and the berries from the previous year.
Okay.
So it's like we had loads of berries last year, and we knew we were going to have like loads of snow, and we were going to have a proper winter. And then you know that the next winter you're not going to have a proper winter. Weirdly, and that's kind of how it's worked for me. I don't think there's any science behind it. It's just the way I see it, but it seems to work out that way.
I've been laughing. This new place has got aircon.
Oh, nice.
Like, yeah, fuck! I've been like testing it out, so it fuck knows what the power bill's gonna be. But
oh shit, yeah.
I've never had one before, so yeah, it should be pretty interesting.
It'll be interesting to see, won't it? And you're in the height of summer, aren't you? So it's a good time to test it, isn't it?
Oh, I just fucking crank the fuck out of it.
Yeah, just like don't give a shit. Yeah, why not, man?
Like we always had it at the parents' place, but I didn't really give a fuck about the bills there.
Exactly,
But,
you never thought about it,
and
did
then
you? Yeah.
really, like my last place, the power was included. So I didn't have a power bill for like fucking 12 years.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had heaps of solar panels. So it was like a big ass house with fucking.
Cool.
It was like 10 kilowatts of solar panels on the roof. So yeah, like he was probably making money off that place because you could sell it back to the grid.
I bet you couldn't here. You couldn't. People don't because there's just not enough sun. They do have.
Over here, it's like you used to be able to, and if you got in pretty early, you got a pretty good like rate that they bought it back for you off you.
Yeah, cool.
And it's like some people it just sort of offsets some of their bills throughout the year, like it just averages out. But
yeah,
like because we've got heaps of panels, like we'd be pumping power into the grid,
like a little generator.
Yeah, like he would definitely not get a power bill, and he would probably get a check back off him for the power that they've bought off him. Like he'd come out in front every time for sure. Like
why?
And just how it was, there's nothing that would block it. Like they were on a flat roof, like
that's clever.
Trees. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Like
yeah, because I bet he bought that property or built that property knowing that as well. Took it into account as the whole system that he was.
Kinda. Well, I used to build. Well, it was all built into your rent, but it was like good not having any more bills on top of that.
That's it, and your tenants are going to probably treat it decently and want to stay there if you're going to be giving them something like a unique selling point like that.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Like,
yeah.
Also had well, we had a pool, so there was like once a month someone would come and service the pool.
Yeah.
And like keep it so that it like was all at the right levels, and yeah, so that was pretty cool. And
that was free as well. They did the free pool service.
Yeah, that was all just chucked in.
Nice.
And then the place was like landscape, like mowers, and fucking dudes would come in and trim all the hedges and.
Oh, nice! You had a big communal garden and shit.
Oh, not really. No, it was more just like the front yards and stuff. Like.
Oh right, okay.
There was like a dirty big hedge, and they just come and keep it all straight, mow all the lawns, and fucking a bit more heavier than a privet.
No, it's laurel you've got, innit? I checked it out. You guys use laurel, I think, for your bushes.
Yeah, there's laurel, and then there's another thing that everyone fucking gets, which is similar to a privet, but it's more like a tree.
Well, privet's a tree as well, but it just makes a good bush, I think, so that's why they use it. But laurel
it's like if you keep them low, they go bushy.
There's a laurel at the end of my road, which is pretty much grown into a tree. It must have been there for 50 years. It must have been, at least. And it's a bush, and then on top of it, there's just like this tree springing out. It's like a full tree springing out of it, laurel tree. Crazy.
Over here, they're full of ants.
Are they?
Yeah, ants and spiders and fucking.
Ants live in the ground here, only in the ground.
Yeah, here too, but for some reason, like there's something they like in that tree. They're like all over it, like all in the leaves, all up the bushes, all up the stem.
Maybe there's a lot of sap coming off it or something.
Maybe.
Because isn't it something to do with is it ants that they herd aphids and they farm aphids, don't they?
They could be doing that shit on them because the leaves do get like a buckled up look to them, something is eating the sap off them.
Yeah, so there's probably loads of some sort of aphid or something there that's sweet as a nut to a bloody ant. It's like a little sweet,
yeah, they fucking love them. Like wherever you see, if you go in there, you're gonna get covered in fucking ants. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see them like running all over the leaves and just, yeah.
You don't get nothing living in the trees over here, really. Like spiders in autumn, as I chronicled this autumn, but they're all gone now, spiders.
I have heard that before, where there's a few animals, I think, that they herd aphids. And it's like they let them out in the daytime and like get all the sap or whatever they're producing, and then they pack all their aphids away at night.
Yeah, and they cream a few off, don't they? They eat a few of them.
Oh, maybe, but it's like, yeah, they just sort of farm them and look after them and pull them out during the daytime, and and they'll pack them away.
When my mate moved out of her house, we found this cupboard that they'd bought a load of her and her fella years ago had bought a load of. You know, when you go to one of them health food wholesale shops and they went and bought like, oh, we'll have this bag of fucking banana chips and we'll have this bag of quinoa or whatever, and it's like a fucking sack, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and they obviously
wholesale.
Like a wholesale place, and so they obviously bought way more than they needed, and they all stuck it all in this cupboard and left it, forgot about it, never went in the cupboard. So I was helping her clear out when she was packing up to leave, and we opened this cupboard and there was like, there was a few big massive fucking spiders in there and loads of these little moths, because there was like, somehow they'd been left in there like a
weevil.
No, they were just moths, just these little silver-winged moths, millions of them, and loads of like, it was like a whole ecosystem, and then there was like larva in there and everything, and the spiders were just like farming them. Do you know what I mean? And it was like there was this like little grid that was in there, that someone like plastic grid from a fridge or something that had been put in there, and they'd used that as like a bit of a beehive type thing. Do you know what I mean? And like laid stuff in it because there's all these little holes in it, and there was all these moths and it was all this moth silk underneath that grid, and then above it was all
left that for fucking ages.
Spiders. Like, yeah, man, they were the proper hippies. They just didn't bother going in the cupboard again. Cupboard of doom.
Like in our flowers and stuff, like we'll get like weevils. Like if you leave like flower long enough, somehow it grows weevils in it.
Oh shit!
And like,
that's why you have to sieve flour. That's why originally they had to sieve flour.
It's a good reason to sift flour, but
yeah,
also
I never
just to
flour.
Make it light. No, me neither. I used to.
I ain't got a sieve. That's why. So what happened to it? I probably used it for some craft or something and got it covered in fucking resin or something.
Like even our rice, like if you leave your rice for a while, like somehow it'll, like even in a sealed container, like you sort of somehow end up with fucking weevils in it.
Really?
So whether they're like microscopic,
well, the eggs must be in there,
yeah, or the eggs, the eggs are in there, and it's like just after a certain amount of time, they'll just
in the packing place. It'll be
pop out, like
it'll be where they do the packing, because obviously they're going to be in there, aren't they? Where there's huge amounts of rice, and so
and it's just like you're meant to have eaten it well before the egg. Like they may have like a 12-month incubate. Like I don't know. But
shit, I've
pretty much like all our flour, like you can't leave it for years. Like you will get weevils, and it doesn't matter what. Like, yeah, you can have it in a plastic container, have it sealed up, and you'll still get the little fuckers in there. Like,
wowzers!
And it's just like you notice as soon as you open it, you'll see them like they'll be on top, but as soon as like the packet's opened or something, like you'll see something scurry through.
Fuck.
And it's like they just start to. As soon as there's disruptance, they just dig down, and it's like you kind of go, "Hang on, did something move?" And then it's like you move a little bit, and you can see something still moving down.
Oh my god!
And you're like, "Oh fucking hell!" Like I don't even know what they look like. You just see them move
They're
cute.
Down. They're really cute. I've seen them.
And it's like
before.
Once you see one or like something move through, you like, fuck it, throw it.
They're super cute. I've only ever seen weevils a couple of times because we don't get them because I think it's just too cold for them. In the summer, you'll get wood weevils and stuff, and they are the cutest little things. Honestly, they've got this like little big arse and this like cute body, and then these big eyes. They're right cute and a pointy nose, from what I remember.
They're tiny little things, like, but it's enough you can see something. Like it would look like a little bug, I suppose. Like
they're little bugs. Well, the ones I've seen are not too tiny. They're like.
But then I don't know what they grow into, so that might grow into a moth.
Maybe they are moths. Could be.
Like
Could be
the
moths.
like if it's an egg, like
Yeah,
they're
I wonder
probably
where
only
those moths
seeing
came
one.
from in those packages. They could have done. They could have come out of the fucking, because there was all sorts in there, like muesli and stuff that they just left.
That's the stuff that you get all the weave. They love that shit.
Yeah, and it just all came out. Maybe they do grow into moths. But the spiders were the fun thing about that.
Cereals.
Yeah, well, cereal in this house don't last long enough for weevils. No way. I've got a kid, haven't I?
Neither does it.
But I don't do cereal no more. Only for my kid if he really wants it, because I've heard about, it's just like feeding people peanuts, innit? It's like feeding.
I nearly bought a box of fucking. I think it's been around for a while, but I hadn't seen it before. But it's Kit Kat cereal. And I don't know if it's just like little chunks of fucking Kit Kats or what, but fuck, I'm keen for it. I don't know. But it's fucking expensive. It's like $10 a box. Like, utterly fucking. That is so fucking dear. Like, would that be probably £4? £5? But yeah, I don't know what it'd be, but that'd be pretty sick if it was just like little chunks of fucking Kit Kat, little bite-sized pieces of Kit Kat floating around in your milk. That'd be sweet. I'm just gonna rip a cone. Fucking need a cold drink, actually. I need me coffee. Where's me coffee? I've got half a coffee around here somewhere. Just joking. So this isn't going to be. I can't stay on heaps late. Still got ages, but it's not going to be a 10-hour. This is almost kind of like the Christmas stream, I suppose. It's close enough. I should have made the effort to go and unblock every cunt. Be all Santa-y and Christmassy and unblock all the accounts. So where's Big Dean? How come he didn't come over? No support. It's like what DJC said, Dean. Support and be supported, bros. As long as you leave your likes and subscribes. Oh, Quandric Quinton. The fuck you mean locked out, cunt? What are you talking about? Bros. You tripping. Go fucking shuffle through your pokey deck. One of them will get in, cunt. Oh, what a shame. Should have had a password manager, bro. Eh? There's apps for that. They'll help your cognition, bro. You've forgotten your cognitives. Forgetting your passwords and shit, bro. Your cognition's gone. Taking a king hit in your cognitives, bros. You got hit in the cogs, mate. That's why they say the cogs are turning. Your cognitions. It's not engines. It's not engine cogs. It's cognition cogs. How does no get fucked sound? Send me a super chat. $5 per account. I've fucking got a few. I've snapped a few of your accounts, cunt. You're probably looking at a couple of hunch. Send me a super chat. I promise I'll unblock your account after the super chats. Deal? So what do you reckon? $5 per unblock super chat with Nuben's account?
I'm not speaking on here at
Sounds
all.
fair? Nah. Don't.
If you want his super chat, you need to talk to Ron. Have you seen him commented on my fucking shit?
No, I haven't.
I reckon Tommy's been sending him out on fucking manoeuvres, mate.
Did he go in and you're... I've got him blocked. I don't see any of his fucking dribble.
No, it is dribble. But he's on some mission.
It's actually probably been pretty good having them all blocked and still talking shit in some of these chats. Because you don't see a fucking thing, eh?
It's one less person to ban you as well, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I think you can still cop that.
Yeah, because if you've blocked him, can you not just still see him even because you're a mod, but maybe not?
If they're a mod, they'll still see
They can
it,
still see you. Yeah. Oh, and he's a mod. He makes sure he's protected. He makes sure before he does anything.
Yeah.
Because we know what he's like when he's not protected. Scurrying around. But anyway, that was my brother ringing, telling me it's the phone call that you don't want. He was like, right, are you ready to go to Mum's then for Christmas? I was like, what? He was like, it's the 23rd. I was like, fuck, I thought it was the 22nd today.
It's coming close.
Fuck. Yeah, he's like, you better get going, aren't you? I was like, right, I'll just have one more smoke and then I'm going to start.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve here tomorrow. But I didn't know because I was ill on Saturday. I just kind of lost the day. Man. Oh, God. We can go tomorrow if you like. But I've already packed all my car and everything. I'm like, oh. All right.
I got to work the next 6 days.
Oh, fuck you now. You're working Christmas then?
Yeah, both of them.
What, on New Year's as well?
Yeah, and New Year's, but I got the next few off after that.
Nice. Yeah. Is it busier for you at Christmas as well? Is it like a crazy shift as well? Or is it just the same?
New Year's Eve is probably going to be pretty stupid, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, 6 days and then 1 day, and then into New Year's, and then days off.
Nice.
But it's like, yeah, I'll get there eventually. But the 6 days with all, there's 2 public holidays in that, so that should be a fucking cracking week.
Yeah, yeah.
New Year's Eve's a public holiday as well, so that'll be a good one.
Yeah, I've worked Christmas before, and it is definitely worth doing.
Yeah.
But now I've got a kid, I wouldn't.
Try and milk them out to 10-hour shifts too to fucking make it worthwhile.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, for the ones that I worked as well, you had basically was it 24? It was like pretty much a 24-hour shift because you do a sleep and start because obviously you only want one person having to give their Christmas up for the rota, so you don't have to jiggle everyone around. And
yeah,
give them like holidays in lieu and stuff, so they only want one person to do it. So you just used to go start at 10, do a full shift from 10 till 10, then you go to bed, and then you'd be up and they'd be there till 10 the next day.
Yeah, it's a generally it's a little bit different over here. Like with your full timer, like if you're full time permanent, those sort of public holidays like Easter and Christmas and New Year's, like you're not really supposed to, like, if that falls on your roster, you're supposed to get the day off.
Yeah.
And
was like
paid
salaried
for it.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you just get a day's pay.
Yeah.
And if it falls on your day off, you get it's like you would have worked it and you get an extra 8-hour day's pay for that. But you don't get an extra day off.
Right, so yeah. You're just getting double.
Just like, yeah, you just kind of get paid for one of your days off if the public holiday happens to be on your day off.
Yeah.
But generally, if it's on your day on, you're supposed to get rostered off and just paid for it.
Decent.
Yeah, that's where the casuals sort of come into it, where they're then thrown into it.
Yeah.
And it's like the permanent, it's like part of being permanent is you just meant to get all that off and get paid for it as well.
But I suppose you do all the extra shift on the way.
Well, anyone that works them, like it doesn't matter what your pay rate is, like you're still double time working on a public holiday.
Yeah.
So it's meant to be same for a permanent. They just meant to not work it and just get an 8 hours normal pay. And anyone else that works it gets double time. And it's all, everyone's the same. You don't miss out if you don't work it. Yeah. It's a little bit different. Yeah. Like, it's not bad. Like,
yeah. That's it. It's like people have to work Christmas. It's just how they manage it. You know, I've met people who manage it well. I've met people who manage it badly. You know what I mean?
It's sort of also like for officers as well that like aren't really like working public holidays. Like they just take the day off, but instead of being out of pocket, you still get paid. It's good when it like rolls around onto like a Friday or a Monday. Because like they'll be like long weekends.
Yeah, exactly.
You get an extra day's pay, and it's been a long weekend. It's all sweet.
In all the places I worked, it was always time off in lieu. So you'd obviously for some public holidays you'd get double, but like in general you'd get time off in lieu, which would mean that you'd be able to get a long weekend or something.
Yeah, we've got time in lieu for like other things. Like you might like do an extra shift, like just because someone's had holidays or they're sick or something.
Oh right, okay. Then you like kind of save it all up.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just like, well, that would have been my day off, but I came in and worked it, so I'll just get a day off in lieu.
Yeah, like jigging the rota sort of stuff.
Yeah, but you can bank them and stuff like that, so
yeah, that's decent.
It's not like a one-on-one.
That's actually really good, isn't it? Because you could, if you had like a long holiday booked, you could just be like, anyone want to give their shifts to me, and you like work it all up, and then you've got 3 weeks to have on your holiday or whatever if you've worked hard.
Yeah.
And someone wanted to give you that much time.
How the rosters, like most people's roster would like be 5 8-hour shifts, like Monday to Friday or whatever, like, but really you're only required to work 38 was our national standard working week, or it became that.
Yeah.
But to work 5 8-hour shifts means you're doing like either 2 hours overtime each week, or what you could do was you'd have a flexi day where you'd over once a month, because you've done 2 hours extra each week.
Yeah.
That would add up to like 8 hours. So roughly you were entitled to an extra day off once a month.
Nice, yes.
And like you just like line that up with a sickie or something, just like,
that's decent.
Sorry, boss, fucking flexi day Monday, eh? So I can see ya.
Like, yeah. Couple of just.
And that was like built into your roster, and it was like every month you got one of those. And because there was there's probably a good 5 years like where that was like a full crossover, like because our working week was a 40-hour, and then like the whole national standard changed, but people could still stay on the 40s, and it was just like a few years transition. But if you were full time and still doing the 40s, it was like you got a free day off every month. Like it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's right, good. Actually caring about the staff a bit there.
Yeah,
a lot of places will just expect you to work.
I ended up doing 4 8s and then a 6 to just do 38. So you had a cruisy little short shift once a week, which was pretty cool. That was also good.
I love working in a short shift. Yes.
Yeah, full early marks are fucking pretty good sometimes.
It changes the whole week up, doesn't it? That.
Yeah, it does. Like not so much a late start, but like an early finish. It's like, oh, fucking get in. Like here we go.
Yeah, especially if it's on a Friday or something.
Yeah, well, you just line it up to whichever one you wanted, like.
Yeah. I remember having to do that because the place I worked at one bit, it was just shit. They really took the piss out of people, and she wouldn't let me ever request anything. Do you know what I mean? Like you couldn't. She'd just give you a rota that week, and it was just random. And I was just like, I can't work like this. I've got shit to do. Do you know what I mean? I want to go and do my yoga once a week and stuff like that. It's not too much to ask. I work my fucking shifts. You shouldn't have that much control over my life. So I went and got a second job, just so I could turn to him and say, right, I can't work this day and I can't work that day. You can either fire me, or you can let me have these set days off. And it just changed my life completely. Just being able to organise my rota. They wouldn't let anybody do it because they needed everyone just like. They just needed it. It's like a cult, you know what I mean? When they want to get something out of people for free, they work it in as a cult, don't they? And then people are like, oh, yeah, living, breathing the company. Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh, yeah. The whole fucking thing. And I was just like, fuck off.
They're fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I was just like, just fuck off. I'm not doing that. Get that fucking idiot to do it instead.
The ones I hate is like in like mega big fucking transnational fucking companies.
Yeah.
And it's like they act like everything's coming out of their pocket.
Yes. Because they're the ones, aren't they? They're the ones that get they do well. They do really well.
Fucking cut it out, cunt. Like, it's not your fucking money. Like, fuck.
Yeah. It's not your fucking lorry, guy.
Or they'll like compare shit, be like, you know, like, why can't we fucking get this? And it's like, oh, that costs fucking, let's say 15 grand. Like, could you imagine paying that? And it's like, well, on my fucking wage, that's pretty fucking hectic. Yeah. But these cunts are rolling in like the hundreds of millions. Like, it's fucking chump change. No, I would buy that on the spot and fix that. Yeah. You fucking dopey cunt boss. Like,
yeah, because they get like they don't tell you what sort of bonuses they're getting for fucking you over.
That's right. Like, you don't spend anything on your maintenance for three consecutive fucking
100%. Yeah, that's exactly what
and
it
here
is.
Comes a fucking 20 grand pay rise. Like,
that's exactly what it is. Exactly. And it was like, for us, it was before COVID and all that shit, but it was all the protective equipment and stuff like that. They just didn't bother with it. Just didn't bother buying it. So like then one person would get ill, or one of the guys would get fucking diarrhea or something, and every fucker would get it. And that was just the way it was. And then you ring in sick, and they'd be like acting as if you were fucking lying about being sick. You're like, you guys made me sick.
The bonuses would be like, if you don't have one for like no reports for 3 months, and then no reports for like 3 consecutive months, would hit another bonus. And then like no reports for 12 months. Fucking, it's outrageous.
Yeah, I just made it all. I was like, whenever they tried to get me to do anything in that place that was out of order, I would put it all in the notes, because it was illegal for them to destroy or alter those notes. And they were in a book specifically so that you couldn't just rip a page out and no one would know. Yeah, they would know. So as soon as that was written down and signed by me, they were fucked. They had to go, it was only based on the auditing of that company, and that company was shit, see? So, but that manager ended up I started a tribunal with her, and then I fucked it off. And then, and someone else took it up with her later on, and one of my mates, and she came and I saw her, like, she rang me up when I was at a festival, and she was like, she's been it was years later, and I was like tripping in the fucking festival, and she was like, do you remember her? I fucking do. She's like, she's working in Tesco's now, stacking shelves. She's been fired. She's had everything stripped from her. She's never going to work in that industry again. I was like, yeah, it made my fucking night. I was right. Oh yeah, I was having a right good time there. I found out.
Oh, at least we didn't get fucked up too bad. Something still came out of it.
Yeah, that's it. Those whoever lived there probably got a better service in the end. Yeah, it was awful, that place. I've worked in some right places, different random ways that they're
I've always worked for good places. Like,
I've worked for some really, really
bosses,
good places. Yeah, really lovely places as well.
But in saying that, like, I've learnt about the shit places. Like, I haven't really been in them.
Yeah, but you're not spoiled.
Like, luckily, I've had good bosses that are kind of like, they've had good like management skills and good business skills. They're just like,
I appreciate that when it's a lot.
Real good at their shit.
It's really precious to find that, because
they kind of point out like bad stuff, and like that's because I was like, a little bit behind the scenes, and like they'd be like almost like training you a little bit, like, you know, see how we do this. Like, you'll find like not a lot of people like they'll do it this way or that way, and it's just like business styles, like we talked about before, where some of them only know how to do cutbacks.
Yeah.
When they need to make money, they don't know how to make money.
It's worked for them all this time, so they don't know any other way. Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's like just what they got taught. There was like the overriding, like, if it all goes bad at your business school, like, you know, you cut back. It's just all like, yeah. But that's not how it always is. But
no, it's not.
I just had it pointed out, like, there's like plenty of other ways. Like,
it's like you've got to be lucky, because it depends on whether there's a good company with a good ethos behind it, and then they find a good manager as well. Which obviously you're more likely to find.
Some of it was even like, rather than like doing like cutbacks, like, let's fucking change the price of our product, and like let's try to make it cheaper and just amp up the sales. Let's see what that does. Like, you know, flash sales and things like that. Whereas, like, other guys would be like, all right, well, let's increase our price. Let's try to stimulate some more money into the fucking business before we make cutbacks. But then that gets seen as a sinking ship too when things get dearer. It's like, oh, hang on, nah, fucking, that's getting a bit exy, like.
And then all the investment fucks up there and all the rest of it.
Yeah, just different styles, like.
It won't be for much longer. It'll be one style, won't it?
It was all meant to be fucking crypto.
There's still people blogging that shit now.
Oh, it's still a fucking thing. Like,
I can't believe it.
Man,
I suppose there's got to be some real shit that actually does serve a purpose, obviously, but I'm not talking about that.
I can remember buying fucking buds online.
Yeah.
And I needed Bitcoin. And I'm like, all right. So this is the way of the fucking new world. I need these fucking buds. Looks like I need fucking cryptos.
Yeah.
So I sat there for about 4 hours trying to figure out what the fuck these things were. And then kind of like, okay, like, it's just some digital cash. Like, all right, we can do this. Got it all set. And like, I think they were about, I remember they were under $300.
Yeah, when it first started, I remember.
Like, they were about $240, maybe $250 or something, $260. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go for a quick shit and have another big deep think about all this, because this is going balls deep in some digital shit with like money wise.
Yeah.
I'm just going to like have a little think about this, and we'll do this later on tonight. I've come back to it like later on, and the price had changed. Like, I think they were worth like fuck all, like 100 and something.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, I don't know if this is right. Like, fuck, I thought I was going to be buying them for like 200 and something. Like, this place has now got them for 100 and something. Like, that's a bit of a fucking difference. Like, I'm like, checked it out, and it's like, oh, okay, it's like a stock sort of thing. Like, the prices go up and down, like, rightio. But then I'm like, just chill. Next morning, looked at it, and they were like 300 and something. And I'm like, oh, this is a little bit fucking up and down. Like, if this, like, stocks go up like $1 or $2, like, these things are fucking, like, it's a different, like, it's 100 1 minute, fucking 200 the next. Like,
super volatile, isn't it?
it's a little bit, there's too much difference in this. Like, I could be, like, once I get them, they could be worth, like, half the price in, like, 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And you're paying, like, quite a decent amount of money for it as well.
So I ended up talking to another mate, and he's like, yeah, look, they go down, they go up. He's like, I've never been stung too bad. He's like, and sometimes it's been cheaper, like, the transactions actually worked out cheaper, and I've got change, like, because it's changed while the transactions are happening. I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah, right, yeah, let's do it. Fuck it, I need these buds. And I bought like one and a half Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoins, and like, yeah, like, I ended up buying heaps more and stuff and spending them, but that was only fucking, I think I got them for nearly 500, spent them straight away. And those things are like 93 fucking grand.
I know.
Yeah, like,
I wish I'd
like
bought
bounced
one back
around
when
them,
people
like,
first said about it. There's a lot of people who say that, innit? But
well,
when
that's what I
people
mean,
first
like,
said
because I
about it,
was
I was like,
buying them.
fuck off, it's a pyramid scheme, shut up. You know?
Some of them deadly were. Like, there was heaps of them. But
yeah, but it was before then, wasn't it? Because Bitcoin was there before all the other ones. They all came in a little bit after, didn't they?
I didn't really notice. I only really noticed the Bitcoins, and then for probably about 3 months there, like, I was just dicking around pretending I was a fucking day stock trader. And I threw about like $50 into this fucking coin thing, and just would buy like $5 worth. Like, you could buy about 150 different types. And I was just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I'm a fucking arsey cunt. Like, watch me go. I just buy like $5 worth of these and $5 worth of that, and just
Did it
keep
work?
them in my
What
wallet.
happened?
It was like every fucking morning, like, I was like up a little bit, and I would just instantly sell it. Just like, oh, okay, like, well, I bought $5 worth. Now I've got $8 worth. I'll sell $3 and just kept my original investment.
Yeah.
And I ended up like being able to buy, like, and because I could transfer it just straight to bank accounts, I was just like fucking pulling out 20 every other day, 50 every other day, and then ended up with like fuck all. Like, it just,
Then
it
it went.
was like any kind of gambling. It just slowly, it just dissipated. But I was selling it back quite often.
Yeah, so you didn't lose out too much.
So no, I didn't lose out, but it slowly just did disappear.
Yeah.
And then it was like, fuck, like, I wish I should have kept
The
a little
glory
bit of those,
days
because
were then,
some of those were like, they did, looking back, like, they went up quite a bit, like, but none of it was ever hectic buying. They were only, it was just like $5 and $10, but spread out over like a bunch of different shit coins. So it was fucking little good fun video game for 3 months or so.
Yeah.
It was fucking
My
good.
mate's gonna get into trading. She says she's gonna do it, and she's going full in with it. So she's got a mate or something who's right into it, and he's done loads recently with it. So he's gonna teach her, and then she's gonna teach me.
This was like when Ripple and a few of the other ones were like always about to take off. Ethereum.
Oh yeah.
And they just kind of never really did. Like, they just like were always promises. But in the meantime, like, Bitcoin would just go to like 500, 1,000, fucking 2,500, 8,000.
God, I remember that time. Yeah.
Like, I remember having a price locked where it would purchase as soon as it hit this, like, a low spot, and it just never ever hit it again. And it just kind of always just went higher and higher and higher, and then like 8,000, then and then fuck, like, they're 10,000 now. Like, get fucked, like.
Yeah. We should have held on to them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, I sort of tapped out, and then you'd look, and it's like they're 40. I'm like, it's just a sickly feeling. Like,
yeah, that's it. Like you say, best video game ever though, because it's like real, isn't it? It's like like that mix between gambling and video games.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not spewing. Well, the ones that I bought and used for wheat, like I bought them as currency, so like they got spent and used
good.
as what they were supposed to do. Like,
and like you
I
say,
hadn't
got a bit of a good deal when if it changed.
Yeah, like I hadn't ever thought of them as an investment.
Yeah.
Where like.
Yeah, they were just means to an end, weren't they?
Because it was like a couple of ounces of wheat. It was like, all right, how much is it? It was like, I think the first one was like 2.2 Bitcoin or something. So it was like they were like 380 an ounce, and it was like not 340 or something for the coin. So it was like I needed more than two. Like,
I suppose some people have been paying over the odds, so if they got it at the wrong time and shit.
Yeah, there were some. There were a lot to choose from too back in the. Yeah, some of those sites were pretty sick.
I remember that thing with monkeys, wasn't it? The Naked Ape or whatever. Not Naked Ape. What were they called then?
The boating yacht club.
That's it. Yeah. And all that shit. That's
bathing
when it
ape.
Up, weren't it? Baby ape or whatever it was.
There's bathing ape, and then there's.
Is that still going?
I'm sure you can still buy those hoodies somewhere.
Fucking hell.
But then it was like the Ape Yacht Club or something.
Yeah, it was.
It was like they were all monkeys, and they were like all different tweaks on monkeys. But they were NFTs.
Oh, that was NFTs. That's right. So I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, see, they're fucking
same fucking shit though, isn't it? Same fucking shit.
No, I'm not really.
In the sense of it being like a bit of a pyramid scheme for how the ratings go up and down and shit. You know what I mean? For the market.
They've both got the same premise that there's a blockchain underneath it. They're both tied to a blockchain.
Yeah, and it's still like, I don't think like Bitcoin, but like some of the more little ones that came out later, it was all like, you could do the same little tricks, like the pump and dump and all that shit. You could do the same shit with the NFTs and the crypto, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, not really. Like, you couldn't. Oh, you could pump up the NFTs, like.
Well, like the little cryptos, weren't they just? They were just a pyramid scheme, weren't they?
No, they were like
They only get traction
if you pretending like you were buying like the image, like it.
Oh, the NFTs yeah, they were stupid.
And then it was like the original image was kept on the blockchain, and crypto coins are kept on the blockchains as well.
The whole concept of it is just so stupid. With the
image, how they pump and dump the coins is like, that's just like insider trading. It's like you sell them, like you buy them, and then the prices change, and then you sell them, and then the prices change, and you just don't get caught out when the price is fucked. But what you can do on cryptos is, because there's no laws, it's wild, wild west.
That's what I mean, yeah. So it's not got the protection of it.
You can have like a lot of the major holders of those coins all saying, right, so we're going to sell it at exactly 3:00 this afternoon.
Exactly.
And it's like, yep. And then that's when the dump happens.
Yeah. That's what I mean about the pyramid scheme and people putting shit out on social media and getting people fired up.
And so you can't do that ideally, you can't do that in the stock market, because that's like insider trading, and you'll do 20 years.
Yeah.
But there's no laws preventing
it. It depends who you are. We know that there's a lot of people who do that shit. And
they do it every day.
You know what I mean?
Technically.
Yeah, technically.
Technically,
if you haven't got the right family or you haven't paid off the right people, then yeah.
Yeah, but technically there's just no laws like against any of that in crypto because it's not a thing like that.
Yeah.
The
It
only
just looked
law
like
is there's like
Avon.
some
It was
capital
just like
gains tax you
Avon
got
to
to pay.
me. I was just like, this is just like a fucking Avon deal. I don't know if you ever. I did Avon once when I was younger, and it's just this massive pyramid scheme. They just get. I was just a kid, you know what I mean, and they just get you to buy all this shit.
Well, like, have you ever seen like the rewards and stuff you get for mining bitcoins?
No,
No.
no, I never
Well,
looked.
see, that's a fucking scam in itself. Like, and that once upon a time that used to be able to like that was easy to do. You could do that on just your homey computer. Like they were more than powerful enough to mine bitcoins.
Wow.
But once it got more popular,
Yeah.
because it's like whoever does it solves the problem, like the algorithm, the first gets the reward. So every single transaction, or every block has got a certain amount of transactions in it, and then every block has an algorithm, and then that gets put out to the public.
Right. Okay.
It's like a maths equation, and then once that gets solved, like it comes back, and then that verifies the transaction, ledgers it to the blockchain, and then the next one comes along, and that can't be ever be changed. Like once they've got the number,
Right. Okay.
the hash numbers.
Yeah.
But that's done by the public, so it's like they're approving every single transaction on Bitcoin, and that happens every 12 minutes. So it's like it's timed per like if you get your transaction in just as the next block's going to get solved, like your transaction may go through in a couple of minutes. But if you're at the start of the block, like you may be waiting 12 minutes. Or if the algorithm doesn't get solved, like it'll have to go back out and it could take another 12 minutes. But yeah, so once
How did they come
it's
up with
got
the
more
12
popular,
minutes?
it's just the code. Like that's
The
the
code
pace
runs
of the
on 12 minutes.
transactions. It's just
Yeah.
every 12 minutes there's a new algorithm.
It's just interesting for things like that, isn't it? You know, when you think about like things like Fibonacci and shit like that, and the codes in life, and 60 seconds in a
It gets
day,
even more
in an
hectic
hour, in a minute,
because
or
like
whatever.
this used to be like an easy algorithm, but the more popular like there's more transactions, and the more people in the pool that are about to solve it, it like auto scales the algorithm to be harder.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that it times it so that it's going to take 12 minutes to solve. Like it doesn't need it to be solved in 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Like because it's built in that it's got 12 minutes. So if there's only like one or two people sitting there with shitty computers, it'll give them a real easy algorithm to solve.
Yeah,
It senses that there's like,
clever.
if there's a lot of computer power out there, it'll be a hard algorithm. These algorithms now, like it's to the point where you have to have like mining rigs, like so, like
You have to spend
powerful,
hours.
like
Yeah.
pretty much like it. They've got to be corporations running them, like they're
Yeah, I
$1
bet they
million
have.
rigs.
I bet they bloody have. Yeah.
But the value in it is like every 12 minutes, there's a reward for solving that transaction. And that's 12 Bitcoins, 12 and a half Bitcoins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But see, that used to be.
Well, you've
like
got no
it's
chance,
hard.
have you now? Yeah, that's it. Against like some massive Korean warehouse or something.
Yeah, or fucking like Russia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like North Korea just sitting there just like mining Bitcoins, getting 12 of them every fucking 12 minutes. Maybe sharing it in between them every other fucking.
I've got a visitor. I've got to go. This is me gone.
Yeah, peace out. All right, Merry Christmas.
I'll see you about anyway, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll be running amok.
Yeah, have a good one, mate.
All right, see ya.
See you later.
All right, Mike's off. Time for a few billies, and then I'm going to hit the sack. Ricardo NES carts. Sometimes I read the chat. Sometimes. It's not very often that I do read the chat, though, to be fair. So yeah, that Quendrick Quinton's gone, and there's another one that's hanging around here that's like Bohemia something, Broken Bohemia or fucking something. He'll get an account through eventually. He enjoys the challenge of trying to wiggle his way back in, trying to get an alt account across the line. Yeah, it's like a test. He takes it as a challenge. Plug your mic in, mate. Join up. Can't. What are you doing? Just join up. Plug your mic in, cunt. So what are we smoking today? I'm smoking Fruity Pebbles OG. Still, it's fucking good. This one, I love it. It's good weed. Always smells really fucking nice. It's only 24%, but it still gets you pretty bad. But you can seem to smoke it like some of the other ones, like, you can't smoke heaps of them, the strong ones, because they're a bit like you do get pretty stoned off it. This 24, you can seem to smoke a bit more of it, but because it tastes nice and smells good, it's like you do want to smoke more of it. Like, it's fucking good shit, but it's pretty cheap. It's only fucking $100 for 15 grams. So I'd say that's a bargain in my books. Half ounce for 100, like a big half ounce. It's pretty good. 24-hour delivery. Order it one day, it turns up the fucking very next morning. Pack my cans up. Put the cans in the recycling.